Today I am making browned butter sea salt chocolate chip cookies, and oh, these are so good. These are good year round, but they are really good also for holiday baking. And I am in the middle of a whole lot of Christmas cookies. I'm doing white chocolate chip, cranberry pistachio, gingerbread crinkles, scotcheroos, Oreo peppermint cookies that uses a cake mix. It's so easy. We're going to do oatmeal Scotties and possibly more of my cherry almond sugar cookies. So for this recipe today, for the chocolate chip cookies, I am going to use 3 different kinds of chocolate chips. I have semi-sweet mini chocolate chips. I have regular size milk chocolate, and then I have semi-sweet chunks. The first step for this recipe is to brown your butter, which we're doing here. I am browning my 1 cup of butter for my brown butter sea salt chocolate chip cookies. And so that's 2 sticks of butter, and I have them melting here in my pan on low heat. And you don't want your butter to really boil. You want it to get fully melted. You want to be continuously stirring it. And then when you see it to just start, after it's all melted and you see it to just start to bubble, that's when it is done. And then you want to let it cool for about 15 to 20 minutes. You want your browned butter to get a nice amber colored to it, and then you want it to kind of foam. It's starting to foam at the top. So this is just about there, and then I will let it cool. So while the butter is cooling, you don't want it like completely cold, but you want it to kind of cool down so that it doesn't melt your chocolate chips in the mixture. One thing about this recipe, you don't need a hand mixer. There is no chill time required, so you make the batter, put it right in the oven. I am going to start with my dry ingredients in this really big bowl. We are going to do 2.5 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. And this recipe, I'll make about 24 cookies or so. There we go. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And then this recipe calls for a teaspoon of sea salt. So I am using a grounder sea salt, so I'm going to kind of just eyeball it. And you want to use kind of a coarser sea salt, especially when you come back when the cookies are all done. We're going to sprinkle a little more sea salt on top of them while they are starting to cool. And there's something about the coarse salt texture just makes these cookies so good. So we're going to mix this together here just a little bit. Let the salt and the baking soda get in there. I'm going to set this bowl aside, and I'm going to start with my sugars, and I need 1 cup of brown sugar. Just about right there. Okay. And then you want 1/2 cup of white sugar. And then I'm gonna go grab my butter and we're gonna mix the butter into the sugars. See, my butter is still a little frothy. It's warm enough to easily melt and mix the sugar in, but not hot where it's going to melt my chocolate chips. And then this recipe calls for 2 large eggs. If you want to see the difference between a farm fresh egg and a store-bought egg, if that's something new to you, the darker colored egg yolk here is a farm fresh egg, and then the light colored one here is a store-bought egg. I ran out of farm fresh eggs, so using what we have, but there's a difference there in the color. I think there's a difference in taste too between farm fresh and store-bought eggs, but you're totally fine to use either when it comes to your baking. All right, and then we're going to add in our vanilla, and we're doing 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I'm gonna grab a little whisk here and kind of whisk my eggs and vanilla in to my sugar butter combination. If you'd like some of my other baking recipes, I will link to that playlist above. I will also link to my holiday cooking recipes, side dishes, main dishes, desserts, all sorts of great things you can make for your holiday get-together. All right, I feel like the eggs are incorporated pretty well there. I'm going to pour this into my flour mixture. That brown butter really gives this a nice caramel color to your cookies. And then we slowly mix and incorporate this in together. You want to get all your flour incorporated before you add your chocolate chips. Okay. So this recipe calls for 2 cups total of chocolate chips. And I do a blend of 3 different kinds. So it's kind of a gauging. I have my 3rd cup here. Where is my little 3rd cup? Here we go. That was the mini chocolate chips. I'm gonna do chocolate chunk. And then we'll do the milk chocolate here last. This is the perfect recipe for your chocolate lovers. Okay, we got about 2 cups of chocolate chips in there. We're gonna mix these into our batter. And you wanna preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then we'll bake these for about 10 to 12 minutes or so. You don't wanna over bake them. You want them to come out just slightly underbaked. gonna go grab my baking sheet. So this batch round of cookies is ready to hit the cooling racks, and I have taken my sea salt and put a little bit on top. It just adds a little bit of extra yumminess. And when your cookies are done, you want them to be, they're firm to the touch, but you want them kind of slightly under baked because they'll continue to set as they cool. Check out these cookies. Oh my gosh, these are my favorite cookie. The sea salt, the chocolate chips, having that butter browned, oh, it adds so much to your cookie and it makes them super soft. These are very soft cookies. I'm so excited for you guys to enjoy this recipe. Leave in the comments below what your family and friends thought of them. These are definitely a 2 thumbs up type of cookie.